Assalamualaikum dear students. Today we are going to start a new chapter, chapter 7, and the topic is transportation in human and plants. अभी बिल्कुल different चीजें हैं कि human and plant में transportation कैसे होती है. What will I learn? At the end of this unit, I will be able to explain the transportation system in humans, describe the structure and function of heart and blood vessels, explain the working of the circulatory system, identify scientific developments that provide alternative for disinfectional body parts such as artificial tissues and organs and their transplantation. Find out that some disorders in human transport system can be affected by diet, describe absorption of water in plants through roots, and explain how the structure of the roots, stem and leaves of a plant permit the movement of food, water and gases. My dear students, let's read the lesson. The highway system of a city helps to move food, water, petrol, garbage and other goods. जैसे कि हाईवे के सिस्टम में खाना, पानी, पेट्रोल, गैस, दूसरी चीजें एक जगह से दूसरी जगह हम लेके जाते हैं. Similarly, human beings and plants possesses a proper transport system for the transportation of water, food and nutrients. इसी तरह हमारी बॉडी के अंदर भी एक हाईवे बना हुआ है. हमारी बॉडी के अंदर वेन्स का एक जाल है जो ब्लड को, फूड को, न्यूट्रिएंट्स को और पानी को लेके जाता है. Following is the human transportation system. Transportation system in humans. The process of moving material into and out of the cells within an organism is called transportation. The transportation system in humans not only circulates the blood, but also transports oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients and blood cells to the whole body. It consists of blood, RBs, WDs, WBs and platelets. Heart, lungs, kidneys as well as the lymphatic system. Lungs play a key role in the transport system as they purify the blood. The transportation system provides food, prevents disease and stabilizes the temperature and pH of the body. The transportation system is known as the circulatory system or the cardiovascular system in animals and humans and plant systems. Human circulatory system and its components. Human circulatory system क्या होता है और इसके कौन से components हैं? The human circulation system consists of heart and blood vessels to transport materials. The structure and function of these components are as follow. Number one is structure of heart. Our heart is a pumping organ. It is a strong muscle present inside the left side of the chest above the diaphragm. It is just the size of a clenched human fist. The heart is made of cardiac muscles. The heart is placed within the fluid-filled cavity called the precardial cavity and is enclosed by the pericardium. It is hard double membrane protective layer around the heart. This layer mainly lubricates the heart and holds it and in an accurate position. The heart is divided into 4 chambers. 2 arteries, the right atrium and the left atrium, and 2 ventricles, right ventricle and left ventricle. The arteries are receiving chambers of the blood. It is linked to the veins for carrying blood to the heart. The arteries are smaller in size as compared to ventricles. They possess thin muscular walls. The ventricles are large and stronger pumping chambers. They send the blood out of the heart. The ventricles are connected to the arteries. They carry blood away from the heart. The heart chambers are interconnected for blood transfer through special openings known as valve. The 4 valves present in the human heart allow the unidirectional flow of blood. These valves also determine the pathway of blood. Superior vena cava, a large vein, joins the several venlets coming from the upper part of the human body to provide blood to the right atrium in the heart. The inferior vena cava is the largest vein of the body into which the vention from the lower trunk joins to reach the right atrium of the heart. Now let's read about the functions of the heart. The heart performs the following functions. It regulates the accurate supply of nutrients and oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. The heart contains both oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. It is its job to keep both of them separately to avoid contamination in the pure blood. Structure of blood vessels. The blood travels throughout the body through blood vessels. 3 types of blood vessels arise from the heart. These vessels are arteries, veins and capillaries. Arteries are the blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart. Arteries possesses thick and flexible muscular walls. They can resist the high pressure of blood coming from the heart. The biggest artery in the human body is aorta, which leaves the heart and divides into smaller arteries. Second is veins. Veins are the blood vessels that bring blood back to the heart. The wall of the veins is thin because of the blood flow is at a much lower pressure here. To prevent the backflow of this lower pressure of blood, the veins contain valves. Capillaries are microscopic, thin walled vessels that connect arteries to veins. These are the smallest blood vessel in one body. Let's check the function of blood vessels. The function of blood vessels are as follow. Arteries provide oxygenated blood from the heart to the rest of the body. Number 2, veins provide oxygenated blood back to the heart through inferior and superior vena cava, which leads to the right atrium. Number 3, capillaries take blood through the organs and tissues. Working of the circulatory system. In human, oxygenated blood present in the left atrium and ventricle appears reddish, whereas deoxygenated blood present in the right atrium and ventricle appears bluish. The blood carrying digestive food absorbs oxygen from the lungs. After oxygenation, this oxygenated blood along with the digestive food come to the left atrium of the heart from the lungs in the pulmonary vein. The bicuspid wall of the heart sends this oxygenated blood to the left ventricle. On contraction, the heart pumps this blood forcefully to the aorta. Aorta provides it is the whole body through a network of arteries and capillaries. The food and oxygen present in this blood are also transported to cells and tissues. At the same time, carbon dioxide and nitrogen waste are released into the blood from the cells. Blood takes this deoxygenated blood with carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste through veins to the kidney. Kidneys remove all nitrogenous waste from the blood. Then through vena cava, it returns to the right atrium of the heart from the kidney. The heart pumps the deoxygenated blood to the lungs through the pulmonary arteries. The pulmonary artery have a semilunar wall that prevents the backflow of blood. Blood pressure is usually high when it moves away from the heart. It is usually low when blood moves towards the heart. Let's check some scientific developments and alternatives for dysfunctional body parts. At times, the organs of the circulatory system, heart, blood vessels, lungs and kidney may become dysfunctional. Various scientific developments have been made by scientists during recent years to alternate the dysfunctional parts of the human body. For example, if the heart becomes dysfunctional, doctors investigate the condition of the heart internally through an electrocardiogram. This is called ECG. Angiography and angioplasty. Heart attack is a disease that is caused due to severe blockage of the blood artery due to deposition of cholesterol. The condition is examined by angiography. The technique is an X-ray examination of these arteries. To fix these bad conditions, angioplasty is adaptive. It is a procedure that opens up narrow blood vessels without using surgery, small balloons that are called stents. Artificial valves. If any of the 4 valves stop working, the scientists have developed artificial valves to replace them. This is done through open heart surgery. Artificial pacemaker. A pacemaker is present inside the right atrium to hack heartbeat rhythms. Sometimes this natural pacemaker becomes dysfunctional. An artificial pacemaker is an alternate medical device designed by scientists which regulates the beating of the heart. Bypass surgery. Whenever the arteries inside the heart become dysfunctional, bypass surgery is done to cure this condition. It is a surgical procedure to restore the normal blood flow in the blocked coronary artery. It is also known as coronary artery bypass surgery. Next page we will read about heart transplantation. A heart transplant is a surgical procedure that is performed on patients with end-stage heart failure. The patient's own dysfunctional heart is removed and is replaced with the donor's heart. The second thing is artificial heart. An artificial heart is a device developed by scientists that replace the natural heart. Sometimes it is almost impossible to process natural transplantation of the heart. In that case, an artificial heart is used. Diet affects our circulatory system. My dear students, always remember that foods with large quantities of saturated fats, that is cholesterol, damage our health. The heart is a muscle and like other body muscles, it depends on a balanced supply of blood. If vessels become hard due to the deposition of cholesterol, they are more susceptible to tear. This can lead to clot formation and clogging of the vessels. Clogging of the arteries that feed the heart leads to many disorders such as high blood pressure and even heart attack. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is a disorder of the circulatory system. Due to clogged arteries, blood flow becomes difficult, leading to high blood pressure. The condition, if prolonged, can lead to a heart attack. Anemia. Anemia is the condition when our heart lacks oxygen in the blood. It happens when our diet lacks iron. This can be so severe that it can lead to a heart failure or the heart becomes enlarged. Diabetics. A diabetic patient possesses a high glucose level in the blood that damages the blood vessels. Diabetic patients are more prone to heart disease. Insulin is the chemical that is produced in our pancreas. Insulin helps to decrease blood sugar. Without insulin, a person develops diabetes. Loss of weight, frequent urination, expensive thirst, and hunger is some of the symptoms of diabetes. Transpiration. The transport system in plants serves to transport water, food, and minerals throughout the plant. They do not have a circulatory system like humans and animals, but they transport water and mineral also from roots to leaf through system vessels. Phylum Sport prepared food from leaves to all the other parts. Here is the process of transportation. Look at the picture. You can see how the food is reached from roots to leaves. Absorption of water in plants through roots. Higher plants have roots penetrated in soil. Food produced in leaves needs water, and food preparation is needed by the rest of the parts. So there is a proper need to carry out transportation in higher plants. Plants absorb water through the entire surface of roots. Primary, secondary, and tertiary roots are combined to make a root system of plants. The area where most of the absorption takes place is the root hairs of young roots. They take in water from the intervening spaces mainly by osmosis. The absorbed water passes through the cell membrane and reaches the vacuole inside the epidermal cells. As the root hairs are extremely thin and large in number, they provide enormous surface area. They take in water from the entering spaces mainly by osmosis. The absorbed water passes through the cell membrane and reaches the vacuole inside the cell. From vacuole, it is pushed into xylem vessels. These vessels pass throughout the plant and carry the water to every cell of the plant. Look at the picture. The structure of a plant with root and stem is given, and you can see how the food is transporting to the other parts of the plant. Transportation of water along with minerals is conducted for various purposes. The first one is water acts as a reductant during process of photosynthesis. The second is it sustains the rigidity in cells of roots, leaves, and stems. Third is it lowers down the temperature of leaves through process of evaporation. Fourth is it provides essential nutrients and minerals throughout the body. Movement of food, water, and gases in plants. You can see in the picture that a boy is watering the plants. Plants need food and water to live. Water is absorbed through roots and food is prepared in leaves, which are added by the exchange of gases. To transport water from roots and food from leaves to the whole plant equally, there are two structures, xylem and phylum. These structures are elongated tubes that interlink each part of the plant. Just like the net of blood vessels spreads throughout the body in animals, plants transport water through the xylem. The process is known as transpiration. Food is transported through phylum and is known as translocation. Here we study how does the structure of roots, stems, and leaves carry the process take place. First is roots. Thousands of tiny root hairs are present on each root. Water and minerals from the soil are absorbed into the root hairs by the process of diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of a substance from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration. As the level of water in roots increases, pressure is created in the root cell. This pressure pushed water and minerals to the upper part of the plant. Second is stem. Water evaporates from the leaf, creates a kind of suction in stem. This creates transpiration steam that pulls water up from the root. Mature xylem acts like open-ended tubes to allow free movement of water through them. Roots also produce a root pressure that forces water up through xylem vessels. So the stem is designed to promote the flow of water from roots to leaves. Stem also provides prepared food from leaves to the lower parts of the plant through phylum. The next part of the plant is leaves. In a leaf, three parts of material movement, for example, water, food, gases take place. Food and water exchange take place through the phylum and xylem respectively, whereas for the exchange of gases, specialized structures are present. As a leaf needs carbon dioxide to prepare the glucose and oxygen, therefore, there is a need to promote gaseous exchange in leaves. For this purpose, they contain openings called stomata. They allow gaseous exchange in the epidermis of the leaf. On each side of stoma, there is a guard cell. These cells check the excessive gaseous exchange by their customized opening and closing. The gaseous exchange also takes place inside the leaf. The specialized cell inside the leaf, that is mesophyll cell in a leaf, absorbs gases. These gases are present in the air spaces between the spongy mesophyll and the palisades mesophyll cells. Sometimes due to high temperature, the rate of transpiration is high, leading to great water loss from the leaf surface. For the prevention of this water loss, the leaf is coated by a waxy cuticle. Moreover, leaves are adapted to have fewer stomata at their top surface. This helps them to reduce water loss. Look at the picture and find out all the parts of the leaves and root and stem. The labels are given. Kindly read all the words. Thank you.